parents, one of the biggest challenges we face is knowing the right thing to say to our children at the right time.
Yes, you're trying to diffuse a tantrum, maybe, settling a sibling rivalry. Well, Instagram's renowned parenting whisperer and clinical psychologist Dr. Becky Kennedy says she has the simple responses to help empower happy and emotionally healthy kids and their parents. Dr. Becky in the building with us here now. So it's not just what you say, it's how you say it, and doing this early on can really, this is going to set them up for life.
It really does. I mean, a parent's way of talking to a kid becomes a kid's way of talking to themselves. And we all know there's tricky moments in adulthood, a lot of them. And what you say to yourself, your internal self-talk, obviously determines how you end up handling those moments. And that really comes from how our tricky moments were handled early on in our life.
No pressure, parents.
No pressure.
You're going to mess them up for the rest of your life. No, but that is the pressure parents feel, I think. And then at a certain point, I mean, my children are much older now. You think it's too late. I've already done the damage, or I've already done it wrong.
So, you know, I think there's two things I think about a lot as equally true, which is it's never too early and it's never too late. So as much as our brain wires early, our brain is always open and I think eager to rewire. So now is always the right time to make a shift, I think.
All right, so we've got some scenarios for you that a lot of parents find themselves in. First, a meltdown. A meltdown hits. What do you do? What do you say when your child just throws that tantrum?
So first of all, tantrums are normal, and I actually think tantrums are healthy. So I want to tell all parents that. It's a sign that your kid wants something for themselves, and they just haven't yet learned the coping skill to manage wanting and not having. So as a parent, what I recommend saying is simple words like, it's so hard to wait. It's so hard to wait while I get you ice cream. Even something like that. I'm speaking to what's hard in my kid instead of yelling.
You're validating their
feelings. I'm validating them. I'm validating, and my job as a parent isn't to end a tantrum. Just to say, it's so hard to wait, or you wish I didn't cut your grilled cheese in half. I'm just validating my kid's experience, which really helps them calm down.
That is so different than most of us were raised. You know, we were raised, you know, with, you do not do that. That is unacceptable behavior. At what point, though, if you're in a public area, is it okay just to let them have the tantrum?
So I think that's...
I'm sorry, I'm just asking for a friend.
No. I'm just, I got to hear this. My parents would have flunked your class.
Yeah.
Well, let me be perfectly clear that the reason I think about this so much in childhood is actually so kids can become adults who don't have tantrums. And maybe we think a kid isn't becoming an adult who tantrums on the floor, but when the waiter tells you they're out of a dish you wanted, a lot of adults do have a tantrum. When there's traffic, a lot of adults do have a tantrum. So the goal of building coping skills early on is so our kids have them when I think the stakes are even higher. So when you're in public, I think often a kid does need to be taken away from a public situation, but not from a, and I say this too, not from a, you're embarrassing me perspective, but from a, wow, it's probably very overstimulating for you to be so overwhelmed and have all these people watch you. I'm going to carry you into the car and sit with you there to help you, not to punish you.
Wow.
Well, you know what age? We're supposed to move on to something else, but when do you outgrow it? At what point this child should not be having a tantrum? At what point is that behavior now you know better?
Well, first of all, I mean, if you're like me, you still engage in behaviors that you know better, right? Like you stay in bed even though you're like, I said I was going to work out, right? Like we all know better, but we don't always act that way. So what I would say is kids are born with all of the feelings and none of the coping skills. That's just an unfortunate mismatch. So as soon as we, over the years, help kids build their coping skills, then their coping skills outpace their feelings, and that's when kids stop having tantrums.
What about sibling rivalry? Because this is something that so many parents deal with when you've got two kids, especially when they're close in age. I've got two daughters, and especially same sex, that can happen all the more.
Yes, so I would say again, just to normalize this, kids argue with their siblings all the time because they evoke their insecurities. As soon as you say to one kid, you know, great job at your soccer game, the other kid thinks, am I not special? And really, am I not loved? Am I not going to be seen for the special talents I have? Even though, of course, you're not saying that. But that's how kids grow up. And so the goal is to help both kids individually feel more secure with themselves, and then they look at their sibling more as a playmate than an enemy. And I think the key intervention there is to remind ourselves to step in these like intense arguments or nasty words. And remember, we need to set a boundary for our kids. So I love the phrase, I won't let you, whether it's I won't let you hit your brother, right? And then to emphasize, I have 2 good kids and I need you two to be separate so you can both be safe. Or I won't let you say those words about your sister. If you're really upset with her, you can find another way to tell her you're upset without insulting her, and to really take that position of what I consider warm but sturdy authority.
Wow.
Yeah.
This is amazing. Look, so you said it's never too late, so Mr.
It is
and
never
Mrs.
too late.
Holmes, pick up this book. Dr. Becky, thank you so much for being here. We really hope we can have you back because, of course, so many of our viewers, parents out there are always looking for some insights
Yeah,
here.
we still have more questions. So please come back.
And you can learn more. And the new book, Good Insight, A Guide to Becoming the Parent You Want to Be. It's available everywhere books are sold. Thank you so much, Jillian.
Thanks for having me.
Well, hey there, GMA fans. Robin Roberts here. Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Lots of great stuff here. So go on, click the subscribe button right over here to get more of awesome videos and content from GMA every day, anytime. We thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the morning on GMA.